All right, what's going on, good people of Cherokee County? We are live and on the scene. What's going on, people? Dean, what's up today, man? Man, it's great to be back in the house.
Good to see you.
We got another beautiful day. It was a nice day. It was cold.
It was cold.
Cold. We had to make
Friday and Saturday was great.
We had to make a trip to Rome, and about froze going up there today.
The wind whipping. It probably wasn't real cold, but with the wind blowing like it was,
yeah,
it made it cold.
All right, what are we going to do tonight, Dean? I tell you what, we've got, guys, we just might as well get started because we got so much stuff to talk about. First of all, let's go over here to the old podcast button. We'd like to share with them. And let's see here. We're going to do 1 and 2. All right. What's up, people from Spotify, Applecast, Crackle, and all the podcast listening places that they listen to us? We have a good crowd over there that people really enjoy the podcast. They kind of listening while they're working and riding and driving and whatever they're doing. So we appreciate them for that. We appreciate our sponsors, Warrior Gym, Scott Lloyd's Legal Service, Corey Colbert Law Firm, and of course April and J.R. McKenzie over there at Cherokee Eye Clinic. Very appreciative for all of them, and without them it wouldn't have been possible back to the season for Players of the Week to get shirts and food cards and lots of other things that we do for them. So again, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day. If you stumble across this channel, I'm Big Matt, co-host here, Diamond Dean. He's the man of knowledge and stats. He knows it all. Just hit the comment button down there and ask him about it. He'll tell you who the starting quarterback was for Wichita State in 1990.
I don't know about that. I'll look it up. But Wichita, good basketball program.
Oh yeah. Well, we can get started with this. We'll say a little roundtable talk, guys. If you're just now tuning in with us and you're not hooked up on CBS Sports or any of those places, Bo Nix, Dean, tell us about Bo Nix.
Bo Nix going to Oregon. Following in the steps of Marcus Mariota and Justin Herbert. And some others. That's the only two I can really name right off the bat. But I think it's a good move. It's a long way. What do you think about it?
I'm still kind of in shock. With his dad being the O coach at Troy, I kind of figure like he may wanted to stay close to home and play down there.
And I don't want to get into no family squabbles, but is it possible he just wants to get away? He's got a lot of pressure. He's had a lot of pressure. He played for his dad. His dad's been with him the whole time. I mean, is that a possibility that maybe he just wants to be free for a year? Not that he don't love his dad and won't come back and work with his dad. I mean, he probably will, but, maybe he just needs a break.
That's a very high possibility. I'm very curious to see how it turns out. Now, personally, what do you think about the play with him playing up there in that system? And they're going to have a new coach, and so the offense may be a little different. Cristobal, of course, is his home back at Miami. So how do you think his playing works out up there?
I think it'll go good. I think it'll go better than it did for him at Auburn. And I'm not saying he can, Herbert didn't wow people at times, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And maybe that goes into some of Nick's thinking. I'm taking it Lanning is going to be Oregon's new coach, right?
Yes, right. He's been sworn in, and he'll be bringing some of the Dog Nation up there to Oregon.
I think the SEC's better than the Pac-12, but it's not like the Pac-12 just pitiful football. But I think he'll do good. I think he'll do good up there.
It's going to be a good test for him. He's a young coach. He's been around other good coaches, and being around Kirby's definitely definitely a plus for him. So I think he'll do a good job there. So I guess some ties that he had maybe being around or known him, I guess he made a phone call and made it happen. So Bo Nix to Oregon, guys.
Bo Nix to Oregon. Wow.
Breaking news.
I think that'd be a good move for him.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into first things first here, Dean. Let's talk about 2021. This year's going to be ending for us. We won't be back on until January 2nd after January 1st games, and we'll come back and get started and finish up with some bowl games through the year and finish with local basketball. And then we'll have another kind of signing day, and it'll be kind of slow for us through March or so, but it'll go by, and we'll probably take a week off in between that March and April sometime. But baseball will be getting started. We may be trying to do little media days for the girls and the boys, baseball, softball, like we did the other night for media days. Basketball, how did you think that went the other night?
I thought it went well. I liked the fact that they came together. And what I'm saying by that is, the girls and boys came up there together. And, a lot of times people get tired if something's drug out for 6 hours. And we got it all done in 2.5.
Yeah, all the coaches were.
I thought it went well.
All the coaches were in. We had a good time. The kids were fun and receptive to some questions we had. We tried to have a little fun with them. And thank Mr. Roy Mitchell for coming. We appreciate him for giving the kids some coverage for the county. That's why we do it, to get them some coverage. And we appreciate everybody that showed up. Bo Starkey, Average Joe's from Gadsden. Bo showed up. And
that was a good one.
Yep, we enjoy him. Appreciate him.
He supports us 110%.
Yeah, really enjoy him. I hope he's doing well. Talked to him a little bit earlier today. We're going to be heading out to Spring Garden tomorrow night. Check some of that out, and we will be getting into that in just a minute.
Tomorrow night.
Good games tomorrow night and Tuesday night. We're going to share that in a minute. If you want to know more about it, stay tuned. But right now, we had reclassifications. Now, I did a live locker room cast while it was going on. And, it's kind of the same for most of the teams. However, we do have some change-ups, Dean. So let's just get right into reclassification. Now, most people already know kind of where their schools lay. We'll start over here with let's start with 3A. Over here let's start with 4A, the bigger of our groups here. Now, Center Warriors, Coach Kelly, he's working out the last-minute details for their scheduling. And some schools have their scheduling out. We're going to share what we have, and guys, some do not, and that's okay. I mean, it's kind of quick that you can get it done now.
Oh, I know.
Do you think so too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you got it done,
they only got one game they got to find.
If you get it done now,
everybody's got their schedule set, but they only have one school to fill.
Yeah, so if you got your schedule done now, you're ahead of the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Gaylesville and Coach Knapp and Coach Kelly are just trying to get that one little spot fixed. So we'll say the region they're in now, they've got out of that South bracket, Dean. It's going to be Asheville, Etowah, Fultondale, Good Hope, Hanceville, and Aniana. And how do you feel about this region? I like it.
I like it. I think, Aniana can be a challenge. Of course, Good Hope had a good team this past year, but I don't know if they're year in and year out good. And obviously, Etowah is always a challenge. But I think Center will fit in better with that, and especially in the playoffs. You ain't got to play a Viger in the second round.
Good guy. What a team they were. They were slobber knockers.
And I think that's going to be a competitive. I like it. Fultondale can have some good teams from time to time. Asheville's on the rise with their new coach. Who was the other team in there?
Coach Monroe at Asheville. Shout out to him. I always enjoy talking to him.
Monroe, yeah.
Really enjoy talking to him. Smart guy. Wish them a lot of luck.
I know nothing about Hanceville. Nothing. But I know Aniana and Etowah usually have good teams on a regular basis. Well, Aniana played for the state.
Yes. They'll return some of those players, too. I think they're losing some guys up front and that kind of stuff. So, what do you feel about them winning that region? I think they have a good shot at it.
I'd say they have a good shot. I mean, you'll have to play good ball, but it ain't one of those regions where you're just out. No. Okay, there's no way to win it. Let's shoot for finishing second. It's not one of those deals.
Yeah, where they had Hanley in that region. I mean, good gracious.
You got Hanley, Anniston, Jacksonville, just a tough region. I mean, from the day one, you got your state champions returning most of their starters in your region. You're a realist. They're favored to win. They're going to be hard to put down.
So we like Center. I talked to Namath, by the way, earlier today, just to pick his brain. He's big on all this stuff here, and he hadn't got to look in depth in this new region stuff for the 4A Region 6. That's what Cherokee County Warriors will be in. Cherokee County 4A Region 6. 3A Region 6, Dean. We're going to have – this is a good one now, people. Hang on to your breath. Geraldine, Glencoe, Hoax Bluff, Coach Sexton, the guys down there. Ohatchee, which Enos and them will be leaving.
Yeah.
Piedmont, Plainview, Sylvania, and Westbrook Christian.
Wow, that is an excellent region.
Welcome to the 3A region.
Sylvania, Plainview, Hoax Bluff, Piedmont, Ohatchee. Wow.
Welcome to 3A, Westbrook Christian. I think that's
Westbrook. And who'd you say the first two were?
Geraldine and Glencoe.
Yeah, that's
Sylvania. That's 3A Region 6. Now, as far as favored to wins, the region that's way before Christmas early pick, we're picking wins for about 350 days from now, right?
Yeah.
So in 350 days, It's kind of like Alabama.
Well, they got Hayes back again.
Yeah, he started for 8 years straight since he was like in the 4th grade.
Yeah, he was the quarterback when they won. Oh, wait, that was his brother. Never mind. Yeah, so you got to make them the favorite. But that's tough. That's a good competitive region. It can wear on you playing every week like that.
Yes, that's definitely. Geraldine's bringing back a lot of guys. They had a new coach up there, Coach Mike.
So they had a great year.
Going to have a good year. Glencoe, they kind of come in and out. Hoax Bluff, they have a young team too. They're gonna bring back a lot of kids.
They're supposed to bring back a lot. And
Plainview,
Glencoe's on the rise, I think. They had a down year, but I expect them to be back soon.
Sylvania, and of course, welcome to the big league there. Westbrook Christian baseball, they just got their rings, I think, today for their baseball state ring. So that was awesome. That's congratulations to them, baseball. They had a great baseball team.
Won it with their pitcher out.
Yeah, that's what was weird. I remember us talking about that.
We were like, they're going to win it because of this pitcher. He goes out, and they still win it. That's kind of weird. That don't happen a lot.
I watched them play. I covered a Sandrock game over there one night. But they're quality. Let's move up here to 2A Region 7. One of our local teams here would be Sandrock. Coach Heath and the guys, they're bringing back some players.
They're bringing back a lot, yeah.
I really like their chances. Okay, they're going to be, looks like Whitesburg Christian. Section. Pisgah, which tough basketball. 2, North Sand Mountain, there's another tough basketball. Ider, they had a good run at last year. Collinsville, they're going to finally get down there and be able to play. But guess who followed Collinsville up and followed them back down?
5.
That'd be Fyffe Red Devils, Coach Benefield.
With 16 starters.
They lost 5.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, though. I think Sandrock can definitely get that
they can be competitive in that region.
Yes.
Now, everybody in the state's going, and even Coach Heath would favor Fyffe.
Fyffe's going to be
favored to win the region. So we're just being realistic. We love the Sandrock group.
From what I've heard there, I think Sandrock's definitely in line for that number 2.
But 1A Region 6. Now, this is where it kind of gets weird. I'm not going to gripe. I'm done griping about it because it's just no matter what I say, it's not going to change it. I could say what they should have done and what should have happened. It don't make any sense to me at all. Anyway, 1A Region 6, Raglan, Talladega County, Central, Donahoe, Victory Christian, Wadley, Wintersboro, Spring Garden comes on this 1A Region 6. Now, with Wadley, of course, making a run at state.
Right. I'm assuming they lost some players. I mean, they had a good team. Best team they've ever had.
Yes. Best team they had. Wintersboro, they're going to be picked up. I think Cedar Bluff's going to catch them in the season. We'll go through that in just a minute. Raglan, they had a good year last year, Dean.
They did. They wasn't bad.
Talladega County, they're kind of in it. Excuse me.
No, but they've had good teams before, so you got to watch them.
When Spring Garden played in that region before, didn't they play them a good game? One time?
It seems like they have before.
Seems like one time they played them good.
They've been to the state championship before, but it was a while back. It was a good while.
And then the next time they played them, Spring Garden beat them pretty good. Donahoe's always been around. Cedar Bluff had to beat Donahoe when Jamie Hampton was QB at Cedar Bluff to go to state. Right. I'll never forget that. They sent a box of pacifiers to the school saying that Cedar Bluff was big babies and they whined about everything, and a big box of pacifiers was shipped to the school, which is good. I like it. I mean, it's football. That's why I love high school, college football. It's just great. The rivalry stuff and, trying to amp each other up. So, Victory Christian, too. So, Spring Garden, I like their chances.
I still like their chances, yeah. It won't be – well, it was hard. I'm not going to say it won't be as hard, but I don't know that it'll be a lot easier. Wadley and Winterboro are good teams. Raglan's got a good team. And you never know on a year-in, year-out basis what kind of talent. There's some talent down in Wadley now.
Oh, absolutely,
and there is in Winterboro, too.
Yeah, it's a bigger area than what you guys think it is. Yeah. It's not small country hit one red light town.
Well, I mean, Wadley played for the state championship this year, and Matt can tell you, Cedar Bluff had to fight tooth and nail to beat them in the third round the year they went to the state, and we found out after their best player didn't even play. Well, if that was and the studs they had out there on the field, and their best one wasn't even out there, they were great.
They were
really good. They would have went to the state championship if they had to beat Cedar Bluff.
Yes, we beat them on the last play of the game.
Yes, last play of the game.
We'll move over to Region 7, which is familiar with us. 1A Region 7 guys. By the way, 2A Region 6, Cleveland being that 2A Region 6. Just throw that in down there on the side. 1A Region 7 is Appalachian. Coach O'Brien, Coosa Christian Conquerors. Seen their new helmets. Coach O'Brien, I dig it. It looks good. He's changing a lot of things down there, changing the culture. Looking for them to be better. Gaylesville, Valley Head, and Woodville. And the new addition will be Decatur Heritage coming to that 1A Region 7, which is a predominantly known, great high school football
They got
team.
a pretty good program there.
We've battled them at Cedar Bluff has in the playoffs over years and years.
Well, they had two good ones. One of them was 53-40, and one was 42-41. You remember when we didn't get the 2-point play?
Yeah, down there going to the school that end.
Yeah.
I played the Rocky song too early, I think, or something.
You didn't play it during the play, though, did you?
No.
Just right as it snapped?
Yeah, I think I did. It was so they're going to bring something to the table. However, I'll say this without starting a crap storm, and he already knows where I'm going. We would like to have – I would have liked to have seen Spring Garden be in this this Spring Garden team be over here in this 1A Region 7. I think with the way things are shaped up, you could have easily swapped Spring Garden and Decatur Heritage, swapped them, or Spring Garden and Woodville. If you swap Spring Garden and Woodville, AHSA, hashtag, guys, if you're listening, I know that you are because they watch the show every Sunday night.
Well, who don't?
Guys, if you put Spring Garden in here and move Woodville over here to this Region 6 with Raglan and Wadley because of position and geographics, Appalachian, Cedar Bluff, Coosa, Decatur, Gaylesville, Valley Head, Spring Garden.
Good region.
That is a great region. You kind of you dropped the ball on that one, guys. You think we messed it up, and it's
or you could put two teams. You could have took two teams out of that and put Decatur and Woodville in there, I guess.
I'm not going to gripe about it anymore. I'm kind of done with it, and it's not going to happen. They don't listen to us, and there's some big guys down there that promote, the schools there, and if they can't get something kind of done about it, then I don't think anybody's going to be able to. So
right.
Now we'll talk about some schedules. I do have a few schedules here, Dean. Have you got one of the schedules for?
I've got who Gaylesville plays.
Okay, let's go over that. Let's go through that.
Obviously, they play the 6 region opponents. I didn't get the schedule as far as week to week, but now their region, obviously, they play Cedar Bluff, Woodville, Donahoe, who was the other one, Coosa Christian, Appalachian, and Decatur Heritage. And their 3 out-of-region games this year are going to be West End, TCC, and Victory. And he's still looking for the 10th for one more game.
Okay, I like that. That's a profitable schedule. I think they can do as good as they have done with that.
Right.
With that schedule.
Well, and they. I noticed that the teams that he's playing in outer region, they're not just gimme games, and they never have been with him. But they're tough games.
They will be at.
They
will be at Cedar Bluff again this year. That reason being, in case some people don't know, I'll share with you why Gaylesville will be at Cedar Bluff again, because last year, the year before, they forfeited because of COVID, so it automatically goes to the team you forfeited against. So Cedar Bluff got that win, so I'll just tell you why that happened. The Cedar Bluff Gaylesville game's at Cedar Bluff again. I'll tell you why, because Gaylesville forfeited 2 years ago. So Cedar Bluff got the game. So now this year it falls for them to be at home. Right. It's regular. So if anybody's thinking there's some shady business going on, it's not. That's just how it
worked out for everybody.
It did.
But West End, TCC, and Victory are his 3 out of regions so far.
I can dig it. I can go along with it. Let's go to Cedar Bluff here. We'll share this. Looking like they will host this Cedar Bluff Tigers, 1A. They will host Winterboro to open the season. That will be August.
I'm looking at it right here.
August the 19th.
Ooh, playing week 0.
August 19th, host Winterboro.
And that's where Coach Beckett coached.
He may have could have put in a good word and got that game locked in for us there. Okay, and then the next week, Dean, we got there. Cedar Bluff will host. Coach Heath will come over. They'll play him over there. Sandrock. They will be at Cedar Bluff the 26th. And then we're going to jump into the month of September. Cedar Bluff will travel to Woodville the 2nd of September. Cedar Bluff will then return home the 9th, and they will play Gaylesville. The 16th of September, they will host Decatur Heritage. Looking forward to that one. We haven't seen them at Cedar Bluff in a couple of years. Then we're going to have Coach Howard and the guys, and the 2A Defensive Coach of the Year, Coach Ragsdale, will be appearing at Cedar Bluff the 23rd of September. And later there, the 30th, the end of the month, to round out the month of September. The month of September is football month. Finish that out. It's going to be Valley Head at Valley Head. Tigers will travel to Valley Head. Then they will return home and play Coach O'Brien the 7th of October. And we're looking for some cooler weather coming. They will travel up to Appalachian. Maybe a nice, cool game up there, October 22nd at Appalachian for Cedar Bluff. Last but not least, Dean,
Donahoe.
Travel to Donahoe. That'll be Halloween weekend. So what do you think about what we just said there, what I just went over?
I'm thinking he's a remarkable scheduler because that's 5 of your first 6 ball games at home. And 7 of his last 8 were at home. So that's going to make 12 out of his last 14 ball games have been at home. Now, as a PA announcer for it, that kind of, you're like, good gosh, I'm home again. And some of that was because of they were supposed to have gone to Gaylesville.
Yeah, like that COVID
so
game.
It ended up, and plus they won the region, so they hosted in the first round. So that's why some of it, but it's worked out like that, and that's good. But the only thing about that is the last half of the season, you're not at home any.
Did I send you spring garden's schedule?
Let me see here.
Go over that one
Wait just a second.
Break down the garden schedule, Dean. I looked at it. We talked to
I don't know if you
Brian Cloudus. We talked to him yesterday out there at the basketball games, and it's always good to see him. And he's always always fun to talk to, and we enjoy talking to him.
All right, Spring Garden opens up. Well, no, that's not week 0. That is
August the 12th,
Ohatchee Ramburn, and they
the jamboree type game, Ohatchee Ramburn.
Well, how do you like that dang starting game? Sandrock for week 1. Let's get that over with. That's a big rivalry and a big game, 29-28 this year.
1A versus 2A this year.
All right, then they that's at home. That's at Spring Garden. And they go to Tucoosa Christian the 26th, play Wadley at home. That was a battle this year. They won by 2 points.
Looking forward to that one.
Victory away on September 9th. They'll have Winterburg at home on the 23rd. On the 16th. Then we'll travel to Cedar Bluff on September 23rd. September 30th, they'll travel to Talladega County Central. Then they have an out-of-region game October 7th against Pleasant Valley.
Let's pause right there. What do you think about that?
What, Pleasant Valley?
Yeah, going up there and playing them. They're a good bit bigger school, but
I think they'll be fine.
I think they can play with them.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know. Pleasant Valley wasn't very good this year, but they may have everybody back.
If they do. Now, they're 4A?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, 3. 3.
3.
3.
Okay.
They may have moved up. Then the last 2, October 14th is Donahoe at home, and 21st is Raglan. Down at Raglan, they are open the 28th because they play week 0.
Looks like he's going to try to get a break right there at the end, give his troops some time to heal up before going in November 4th or December 2nd, state playoffs to make a run. Coach Howard could make a run at that 1A Region 6, and we just good luck to him. And we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that kind of pans out.
Wouldn't be a bit shocked if they were to win that region.
No, me either. I'd say
I would actually be. If we had to do it today, they would be my favorite.
Yeah,
depending on what Wadley. I mean, if Wadley brought back everybody off their state runner-up team, but I have no idea what Wadley lost. I don't know. They might have lost 18 starters. If that's the case, yes, I'm going with Spring Garden. If Wadley's bringing back 18 starters, I'm going to have to be a realist.
They played them a good game when they went down there to Wadley.
They did.
Played them a really good game.
We talked to Brian.
Played them a really good game. We'll go to Sandrock. You 2A Region 7 in there in the region with Collinsville and Fyffe. You more local teams. We're going to talk about them here. Excuse me. They're going to open here August the 19th with at Spring Garden. Then they will be at Cedar Bluff the 26th. Their first home game will be September the 2nd against Pisgah. September 3rd, Sandrock Wildacats will travel to Section. And the 16th, they will travel to Collinsville. All right? And September 23rd, they will host West End. And then September 30th, they will host North Sand Mountain. That'll be a good game. It was last year.
Yeah, I think North Sand's got some players coming back.
October 7th, Sandrock will host the Fyffe Red Devils. It'll be a tough game. In that part of the season, you kind of like to play them early.
Yeah, I'd rather play them.
Because if you get, it kind of gets that out of the way, and because right here in that part of the season, you may have one bummed up or something, and you need
all your horses.
You need every gun firing both barrels, and you got to hope they turn the ball over and make some mistakes, and you cannot make any. It can happen, and you can't make any mistakes.
No.
If you make no mistakes and they make a few, and you just play a lights out game, you never know what may happen. Then there will be at Eider October 14th, and then October the 21st, they'll host the Whitesburg game there last. So that's kind of look at those.
Everybody's playing with 0, aren't they?
Yes. Huh. So that's Spring Garden, Sandrock. Talked about
Cedar Bluff.
Cedar Bluff's got their schedule, and we're still waiting on Gaylesville and Center's schedule. We went through their regions. Of course, Gaylesville's there the same as Cedar Bluff, so we kind of get a good idea of that. So, carrying on to the next topic at hand, let's see, went through the schedules. Dane, tell us about there's some all-state players and honorable mentions. We're just going to put all the kids' names out there, guys. Had a lot of kids here in our county. So
Right. Had several in the county. And, guys, if I'm wrong on some of this, please feel free to correct us. But I'm not going to get real in depth. I'm just going to tell you who made it and who made first team. As far as second team and honorable mention, I don't really know, but I know these guys were named. All right. First off, from center, C.J. Gresham, Jay Watts, Tay Diamond. Was he just a freshman?
Tay is. I'm telling you, next year, you better look out, guys. 4A. If you are watching, and Aniana and any of y'all from Fulton Dale, Etowah's watching, I promise you better get ready.
Wow.
I really like this kid. He wanted, I give, sorry to hold you up.
No, you're fine.
But Tay said, I want one of them Player of the Week shirts. When I took LaMichael his.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you just keep getting after it, and I'm sure you'll get one. Well, this was, kind of early in the season. He wasn't playing a whole lot, and I would go to more practices. I told him later, I said, you'll be getting one of these shirts. If you just keep doing what you're doing. He's still young, and he's good.
Oh, I know.
Very young.
I'm thinking it was the second team, Matt, but don't quote me on that. I know Gresham was a first teamer. Other players to make it from center were Damian Ramsey.
Go Damian.
Daniel Mejia. We're not shocked by either one of those.
Oh, he can kick the stew out of it.
And Gresham was one of the leading interceptors in the state with 7, so he was a first teamer. All right, for Sandrock, Olin Pruitt.
OP.
First team. 6 interceptions, bunch of receiving yards.
Like every game we covered them. Had stats from every game. It seems like about every game. He had 100 yards.
He did pretty well, yeah. And, of course, Cornejo was not first team, but he did make the All-State team.
Okay.
As an athlete. For Cedar Bluff, Jacob Burleson, first team, DB, 8 picks. That's why,
Yeah, almost 20 for a career.
8 interceptions.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Preston Burt was also a first teamer. He led the team in tackles and tackles for a loss. Also rushed for some yards and caught passes out of the backfield. Dylan Kennard was named to the second team, I believe. Dylan Kennard. For Spring Garden, no shock here. They had one first teamer, Cooper Austin, 67 catches.
The Coop, man.
And also other guys named to all-state teams, either second or honorable mention, was Andrew Floyd, very good year, and Landon Goins.
Landon's he's the Swiss Army knife.
Oh, yeah, man, good.
Play any position.
Good punter.
Any spot, put him on the line, put him in the backfield. He could throw the ball. He could kick the ball. He could catch the ball. He could intercept. and his spirit in the huddle is huge. And when him getting hurt, I was worried about him not playing that game. I thought, man, it's going to be tough for that. But they hung on, and he was there on the sidelines with them in spirit, and he helped lead them on. So congratulations, guys, to all All-State.
And Matt got a good story to tell you here in a second about something we found out that we were bewildered by, but we found out what happened last night. Oh, and I'll get to that in a second. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I bring it up. For Gaylesville, Bradley Mitchell, first-team All-State lineman.
Good Bradley, boy.
Big guy. Good lineman.
Yep.
Keelan Higgins was named first-team athlete. Now, that means he kind of did it all. Yeah, he run back kicks. He rushed for 1,000 yards.
Defense, tackles for loss, running, catching, blocking.
And Michael Reynolds was honorable mention. He had 1,000 yards rushing, 80 tackles.
Enjoyed being around them kids over there this year.
Hard hitters.
Yeah, Michael's a good kid, and seen him at basketball yesterday and got to chop it up with them a little bit and aggravate them. It's always good to see them.
Well, what I was going to bring up for the viewers, and me and Matt saw the quarterback for Cleveland playing the state championship, and we both agreed in all classifications, I've not seen a better player.
Yeah, he can take a game over and change it like nobody.
And we just couldn't it's nothing against Spring Garden, but we just couldn't figure out how this guy is running wild in the state championship game. But for some reason, he didn't do nothing against Spring Garden. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't do nothing, but he didn't have 400 yards.
No.
Well, we found out yesterday what happened.
One particular play that we were showed, we found on a huddle clip. It was Chaz.
Chaz Pike.
Stuck him. I mean, he rocked the boy hard, and it hurt him, and he was just kind of a little bedazzled out through the game. Now, did it change him how he plays all night? No, the boy's a warrior and a fighter. There's no doubt. But it
put the hurt on him.
It had some effect of the game against Washington Bellingham just to run crazy.
So that made sense after that, because I'm not taking nothing away from Howard and Ragsdale, but we were like, nobody can stop this kid. How did they stop him? Well, that's how you stop him. You put your head under his chin.
Well, and the play coach Ragsdale bragged on. He bragged on Chapel for Chaz. Mm-hmm. He bragged on him for. He's like, well, really wasn't me. I mean, I appreciate it, and he does do a good job.
He does.
But he said, man, he done it for me. He made my job. He makes my job easier being a great defensive player. So
he just hit him. He just tattooed him.
He did.
And and they went on to win that game anyway. But I mean, they were great. Cleveland was a very good team.
So we hadn't seen them play, so they were better. I thought
Spring Garden turned it over a lot. Now, Spring Garden could have beat them.
I think they had 3 turnovers that night.
But Washburn was excellent.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's up there. I mean, Jack is like on the up shelf up here. Washburn's just like right up under. I mean, he's just very fun to watch. Very electrifying.
When I only saw Jack Hayes play once this year, and I didn't think Center did a bad job on him. I thought they did pretty good, but now Estes is excellent.
And
I just didn't think Center had a bad. I didn't think Center played bad defensively against Piedmont. That's the first game of the year for Piedmont.
They had to iron out a lot of stuff, and they both did, obviously.
Right.
And one of them, I mean,
they
lost. Mm-hmm. Center lost their first kind of sort of game to the 3A state champions.
Right.
Looking ahead, you can look back and say, well, they played them pretty good. Well, they're 3A state champions.
Well, here again, their Center again. They lost to last year. They went 7-4 and lost to the 4A state champions. This year, they lost to the 4A and the 3A state champions.
That's the only real losses Center had was 4A and 3A state champions.
I mean, they lost to Jacksonville, that was a good game.
Yes, yeah. They come out – Jacksonville come out hot, and Coach Kelly talked about it. They got to get this –
had a good football team.
Yes, that's right. You got to get that out of your head that you can win this game. It's got where it's gotten in their head. They just kind of owned them there for the past few years, and they're going to check out on it this year. And they're going to be out of that, and they're going to get to go in there and battle Onion and Etowah and Fulton. I like it. I'm excited for Cherokee County in this schedule.
So that's 16 guys from this county that made some form of All-State, either first, second, or honorable mention. I don't think any of them were named Players of the Year, but now for their regions they were. Austin was Offensive Player of the Year in his region. Burleson was up MVP for that region in 1A. So
Burleson and Cooper, congratulations, y'all, for, all region guys.
Might have won something, Chaz, but, he missed. Chaz missed, 7 ball games? 6? Yeah. 7?
Yeah.
Still had 1,000 yards or 900.
It's amazing.
So
I'd have to say it's good. We've had a good run this, so we can kind of say, how it ended in the county. We was batting 1,000 2 weeks in a row there.
Yeah.
We was. We had a good run this season.
Everybody had a good year this year.
We did. Pretty good. So
nobody did bad. I can honestly say that. Nobody just had a bad year.
We can look forward to next year and seeing how these schedules that we just shared with you guys, seeing how they're going to turn out. So we can kind of move on from that. And I'd like to say first, the North beat the South in the All-Star game. North-South All-Star. I watched it. Cape, linebacker from Gordo, he played like a man with his hair on fire. Interceptions, knocking balls down, punching balls out. He just played amazing. And our Foster, our buddy from Piedmont, he had a good game. Marion knocking passes down, and
he had 8 interceptions this year too.
He had a good game down there too.
Which I saw where several guys. Now I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Estes, Foster, Hayes, Noah Reedy, Landon Smart were all named All-State for Piedmont. There might have been more, but that's the 5 names I remember.
Now there was a quarterback that played that was he's going to UAB as a receiver, I think. So he was supposed to be the big talk coming in down there, the North-South game, and they put him in at quarterback, and he didn't do great. But they put him over at receiver, and a kid, I don't know the team, and I know most of those helmets, Dean, but this one is the big yellow helmet with a blue J on the side.
Would that be Jackson Olin?
I think theirs has a J-O on it, and it's kind of a different look, but it may be.
Maybe Jackson.
This guy here, he
Jackson kind of had
throw the ball. That may be them then, because they were yellow helmets. So left-handed, throwing dimes out there. They played good, but the North was too much.
I will say that sometimes in those, when I worked for Coach Starr in Georgia, he got named a coach to be the head coach for an all-star team. And he said, all right, all of you's coming. The whole staff's coming. And there was a boy from Ridgeland that played on the team, huge. And he didn't do much in the game. We got hammered. And I looked 2 years later, and he's a starting D lineman for Oklahoma State. So, I don't know how serious some of those guys take that game. I'm not saying that they don't, but sometimes I know that they didn't seem to that time. Some of them didn't, because I didn't. I'm like, man, he didn't do nothing. Remember telling Knapp after, I was like, Nigel didn't do much in that ball game. Missing blocks, and, he goes, well, he's D lineman, he's going to be a D lineman. And he started at Oklahoma State.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The games, before we move on to college, let me put this over on the screen. I hope y'all can see it. All right, what we're looking at now, Dean, is that schedule I sent you, the basketball tournaments and stuff.
Right.
I'm going to be over there tomorrow. We're going to see Cherokee County and Hanley play, the boys. I'm going to try to get over there about 4:30. I'm going to try to catch that one. I'll definitely be staying and watching Spring Garden girls, all our Neely and Ace and them. They're going to play Etowah, so that'll be pretty interesting. I like to see how
that's tomorrow.
I like to see how that matches up. Then the boys will play Scottsboro. Spring Garden boys will play Scottsboro.
It'll be at 8.
So
I didn't see that. Oh, you going to be over there? I may ride to that one. Yeah. I don't. I mean, Spring Garden's girls, and I don't mean to disrespect any other girls' team.
Etowah may play them good.
Rat might not like me saying this, but I just don't think anybody can play with them much. And Sandrock's got a good basketball team. Their girls do. I think it's 15 points.
What's the Tuesday night one look like?
Tuesday night, Spring Garden and Cedar Bluff play at 7:30. Boys and girls play at 6. Sandrock and Scottsboro that day. Boys. Sandrock and Harrison County girls, Collinsville and Harrison County boys. I'm anxious to see that Scottsboro and Spring Garden game. I don't know, when does Cedar Bluff's boys play? They may have played yesterday.
No, Tuesday right there the next
Collinsville. They play Monday. They play at 10:30 in the morning. Whew.
Yeah, then they play Tuesday. They play Spring Garden that night, Tuesday night. That'll finish it out, won't it?
Yes.
Or is there? Yeah, that's last day.
Yeah, I might come over there and have to see that, Scott, because they said Spring Garden, Scottsboro's boys went to the. Somebody told us that went deep in the playoffs last year and had some people back.
I heard
I'm
it
wanting to say that Blackwell told us that. Maybe Austin told us that.
I think I'd heard it got chippy over there last night between Sandrock and Hanley.
Oh,
Got some chirping, the kids, and they may have got into a little bit of a squamish over there, so not sure about all that. But
I've had some, I think Spring Garden and Cedartown had some drama. We heard rumors that the coach for Cedartown just said, I'm just going to take the boys on, at halftime over the foul calls. I think it was 11-2. 2 for Spring Garden, 11 for Cedartown. But now, somebody, I'm not going to say who, told me, he goes, dang, they's hip checking us out of bounds.
Cedartown
people.
They were hip checking the Spring Garden kids.
Yeah. He said, not going them out of bounds, just drilling them. So you got to make that call.
Maybe where they play at may be different. But
well, Cedartown, when you're talking about a school that was 1 point away from, they could have easily won the state championship in football. Now, whether it's the same athletes, I have no idea.
Maybe
one or two. But
big schools like that over in Georgia, guys, if you don't know, they usually don't have both sports. They have so many kids. They don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
They don't have to. Same bunch. It's that same bunch of athletes. It's the same bunch of athletes that went 18-1 in middle school basketball. 18-1, and they're just, I don't doubt that they play rough, but apparently the coach was like, forget this, we're gone. But it didn't happen. He stayed. And I think Spring Garden beat him by 5.
Let's go here and see. Okay. Let's move into, you got any more high school stuff?
That is it for high school.
Okay, we're about 40 minutes in. We'll do some college stuff. Let's talk about some of these some signing kids.
Oh, okay. You had to go in detail.
How many kids went where? And
you're talking about for Auburn,
yeah,
Georgia.
Bama. I sent you a little list there, and we're just going to go through some names, and we're not going to go in depth what star they are or whatever, because I don't know. This is just me before I get on my high horse. I don't put a lot of value in those stars because they could get over as a 5-star, not work hard, and
5 stars are usually pretty dang good, but
and just not turn out to be no good.
There's also 3 stars that are fantastic.
Let me say this before I get into this too, because there's a Travis Hunter. Everybody knows about it. I'm not going to go into it depth. I just wanted to say, after studying this guy, Dean, from over there around your area, sort of kind of this Collinsville. I watched them play the state game in FHS the other day. No, I didn't. I watched them play on Georgia TV.
No,
because they televised theirs.
Unlike where this boy that went to Jackson State went.
Unlike Alabama, they hoard all theirs because they're worried about other things instead of just trying to get it out there make it easy for people to watch. That's another soapbox I will not get on. Yes, Collinsville, Travis Hunter, exceptional receiver, corner, punt returner, whatever you want to call him. I watched him play. Thought he was fantastic. And he's on 24/7. You can find him, guys. Y'all go look him up. And he's 6'2", 180, 190. And watching him play a little bit more. Let me tell you who he reminds me of, Dean.
Who's that?
About 13 years ago, there was a young man from Foley, Alabama.
Julio?
Yes.
Julio Jones?
Julio was bigger. Julio was like 6'4" or so, or 6'5" maybe. Weighed about 215 out of school.
Right.
Guys, this Travis Hunter reminds me a lot of Julio Jones. How he leaps and he catches the ball. Dean, he plucks the ball out of the air with both hands like a bird. Catches a fish out of the lake.
76 catches, man. 76 in 7A Georgia.
I'm telling you, he's something else, okay? So I'm just telling you, I really like it. Now, the only thing I don't really understand, and it's not for me to question, I'm sure not his parent. I did not bring him into this world, but I will pray for him, and I pray that God will guide him and his family into a great path for him to be a professional football player, because he definitely has the ability. But what I'm not sure about, Dean, is to play at Jackson State over any other school. Why he wouldn't stay at Georgia, I don't know.
That's very odd.
But you, Mr. Hunter, if he's listening, and I'm sure he is, because I followed him on Twitter.
I don't understand.
And if you want to find me on Twitter, if you want to keep up with recruiting news and go back and look at stuff at Big Matt 1977 on Twitter. Go over there at Big Matt 1977. I just put a lot of recruiting stuff. So you can go over there and you can run through the news I share over there. I started it the other day. I thought, and man, when I got over there, God, there's so much news. A lot. And kids tweet there first what they're doing. They don't do it on Facebook. Facebook's kind of dead. That's why we're on YouTube now. Facebook has lost their mind on stuff. So I'm trying to get away from that. However, Danny's just not going to get the kind of televised appearances at Jackson State. He won't be on TV maybe once.
Well, he's not even playing against...
One time?
He's playing against middle-tier talent. I mean, he's a 5-star, obviously, right? He's not going to be playing against any 5-stars.
He's a Julio Jones style. The way he catches the ball...
But he's going to Jackson State.
And can turn his body in the air. Amazing.
Which, you know, he may be thinking, hey, I go here for 3 years, I'm still a first-rounder, and I may not get hurt as bad. You know, because you can get hurt playing in the SEC and the Big Ten, and you can get hurt at this level too. But it's almost like I average 35 points a game, and where are you going to go play college ball? Well, I'm going D2. Well, you can go to Kentucky.
I think I'll just go to Jackson State.
You can go to Baylor.
The competition for him is not. I mean, it's okay, and there's nothing wrong. Let me say this so I don't offend anybody in this world we live in.
We're not knocking the competition.
I'm not at all, and there's a place for those kids to play, because if you play at a smaller college and what you have to realize is you're playing with people that are the same talent as you and better.
Right.
It's competition, whether you're playing at JSU or UAB. Now, you wouldn't want to compare them to like JSU to Alabama or something like that. It's different because the caliber of players, they are higher. But they don't take nothing away from these schools.
No.
Not at all.
I mean, they're smaller schools.
It's just, right. It's a smaller school. There's still good players at Center. There's still good players at Gaylesville. They're just completely smaller. It's way different schools.
See, I don't understand it. And I'm not talking basketball, but J.D. Davison from the state of Alabama decided to go to Alabama, and he's good down there. He's very good. Starts for him. That would be like him saying, I'm going to North Alabama. How good would he do up there? I mean, Alabama's ranked top 10 in the country, and he starts for him. And this guy is the number one player in the country?
Yes, number one player in the nation. He's
amazing.
Going
to Jackson State.
And I know there's talk about, well, he's got this NIL deal for $1.5 million. That's why he went over there. Okay, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I just want to say this. I'm still, and somebody please fill in, and I'm sure other people will talk about it too. He's not going to be on TV as much over there. And I think a lot of kids like to be, one, you want to be close to home so your parents can come see you play, which that's going to happen. Just right over at Collinsville. I mean, it's going to be a 6-hour drive across the state to go to Jackson.
Maybe 6, 7, 9.
6, yeah.
Not far.
Yes, okay.
Not ridiculous.
Well, that's not too crazy. Not like Bo Nix's dad's got to fly to Oregon to see his kid play.
There's no way
it's not going to happen.
Regular.
No, they'll have to buy a house up there somewhere.
I mean, not especially if he's coaching in Troy.
No, so... But the number two, besides parents getting to see you play, is TV time. Because Alabama, guys, whether you believe it or not, Alabama recruits the best players in the country, and we're fixing to get into the list and see where the SEC finished in recruiting. Mm-hmm. That's a selling point. You don't think Notre Dame don't use that as a selling point? Notre Dame is on TV. They have had a special deal with NBC for how long? 60, 70 years?
Know. It's been a while.
You're going to be on TV, son. Don't you want to have that pretty gold shiny helmet on? Be on TV every game. Alabama, every game. Auburn, every game. Georgia, every. Jackson State. Now, you probably won't be on TV. They'll be on ESPN3.
I don't mean this smart, but when people say, what channel? Alabama on? Yeah. They're going to be on somewhere. Well, they're playing John Deere place down here. They're going to be on somewhere.
It'll be on ESPN2, maybe instead of ESPN1. They got Mercer State. Okay, yeah.
They got Coosa Corner. It's going to be on, people.
Harden's Grocery. Tim and them will be out there and be ready on ESPN Live.
Coosa Corner is
Chad, go get the ball and get it pumped up. That's them.
They're going to be on. And I'm like, I've had people like ask me before, where's Alabama on that? I didn't see it on the thing. And I remember my response to them was, settle down. They're going to be on somewhere. But this guy caught 76 passes at 7A Collinsville. And they actually only had a few games. I think they missed some games on the stats. So.
Yeah, he's an awesome player. Just want to throw out there, everybody in the world knows about him, so we just wasted 6 minutes talking about it. I was just curious about
I think it's
why is he's not going to be on TV at all. I think kids like to be on TV because I've watched him play, and he's had personal fouls for spinning that ball after a touchdown. He likes to get up and dance like I would do if I was catching touchdowns too. So trust me, I ain't judging that.
Right.
I like when Miami Hurricanes would score and dance on people, and there's probably somebody listening right now. Some of our friends going, "You're an idiot. That was just trashy. That's trashy football and ain't no class. Ain't no dancing in football." I kind of thought it was cool. I was like,
have a little bit of fun.
I was, 10, 11,
Not
12.
to get out of hand with it.
I was 10 or 11, 12 years old when I was watching him, win 87, 88, and 89.
Yeah.
So, anyway, speaking of old Alabama teams, me and Marcus did run into the Sherman Shake Williams, Alabama.
Oh, you saw him?
Come in 91. We met him in the mall last night, took a picture with him. I shared it on the page earlier today.
It was good.
We talked a little bit about football. He's Roll Tide, and every Auburn fan that walks by with an Auburn shirt on. I mean, he played for the Dallas Cowboys. He's
Star for Alabama. Star.
I remember him very well. When I seen him standing there, I seen the name up there, and I was like, Williams.
Was he signing
Sherman?
autographs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sherman Williams said, man, that's the Tank, man. That's the Shake. And Marcus don't know. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. That's 93, man. They beat Toretta and them, and Langham and all those guys. He's on that team.
Yeah, he was on that team.
But anyway.
He wasn't the running back, though, but he was one of them.
Yes, he was good.
Oh, he was great.
I really enjoyed talking to him. He showed us his ring, and we took a picture with him. So that's just a little side note for you. That was kind of cool. So anyway, after I got fired up about Travis Hunter, and but anyway.
I think it's all right. I don't understand it. But, it may work out great for him. Hey, some people don't want to just compete. They want to dominate.
Well, he would definitely dominate over there against Mercer and those teams.
I don't know who Jackson State plays.
Mercer
they don't play
in
a national. They don't play a Power 5 schedule.
All right, let's break into Bama. All right, guys. The Alabama fans, podcast people, if y'all got your ears on, we'll run through this. And I'll try to change gears because we're going to do some bowl game stuff too. All right, first but not last, quarterback Ty Simpson. Definitely we've covered him, talked about him in the show a couple of times. Fantastic. And running back's going to be Emmanuel Henderson. He played at Geneva.
That's the one from Geneva.
Really good, guys. I shared a video on his page
he can run.
last week or so. I put a video of him playing his Max Prep stuff. He's a good player. Jamar Miller, another running back. It's going to be he's a great tailback. Had a lot of yards coming out of high school.
Where's he from?
I don't remember.
I just know Henderson is from Geneva.
I remember that one.
Okay.
Wide receivers, you got Shaz Preston, Aaron Anderson, Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond. You remember that name? This kid played. He was the one that played at the Georgia High School State game. I was like, God, please, somebody call Nick Saban.
Bond.
Yes, Isaiah Bond.
Stud, huh?
Yes, I said, somebody please call Nick Saban. Bama was on the list when it showed him. Yeah, look him up. He played at that's one of them two name schools at Georgia State Championship game. Kendrick Law, Bond or Law.
Langston Hughes.
They may wind up on defense. Isaiah Bond.
Isaiah Bond.
Fantastic. They might not wind up
wide out.
Playing corner. Yeah, he might wind up playing defense.
Buford.
Yes, dude. And Todd can tell you more about Buford than I can. I can tell you this.
Some studs come out of Buford.
I can tell you one thing about Buford for sure. They have a fantastic band.
And they got a fantastic football program.
Yes.
I told you the Calhoun story, didn't I?
Yes.
They're up 24-10.
Yeah.
With 2 minutes left. Calhoun is. All right, this is a pretty good story. Let me get through it quick. So, Buford scores, tries onside kick. They don't get it. They have time. Calhoun's got their timeouts. They don't get the first, but there's no time left on the clock. All Calhoun has to do is punt, and it's over. And, I'm sure the coach told him, punt this thing out of bounds. They blocked it, run it back for a touchdown.
Of course it is, Buford.
And that's absolutely what they had to do. The only way they could have stayed in the game, and they did. And they lost in overtime, but still, to even get it to that.
Amazing. Buford's amazing. Todd's going to look up Isaiah Bond. I'm going to run through some of these tight end. Niblick and Brown will be some tight ends, offensive linemen. We didn't need a whole lot of offensive linemen, Dean. Bama was pretty pretty solid up front already. Got a lot of guys coming back. You got the Elijah Pritchett kid, Daniel Shore, and then the Booker kid, Tyler Booker. Defensive line, we got the Otis kid, the Hastings kid. He's really good. I've followed him some. Walter Bobb, maybe a JUCO kid come in. The edge rusher, Jeremiah Alexander. Write that name down. Put his name down somewhere right on your wall right now. Jeremiah Alexander, fantastic. Jahab Campbell.
Stats on here.
He's a solid player. Linebacker Sean Murphy. We followed him. We talked about him about a month back or so. And cornerbacks, Eli Ricks, LSU.
That's big.
Earl Little Jr., big. Antonio Kite, great.
That's the boy from Madison. He's
Dude,
good. I heard he was a basketball star.
Yes. He could jam it like ninth grade.
Yeah.
Taquan Fagans, safety, and Jake Pope. Alabama clearly.
Fagans is the one that went from Oxford to Thompson, is he not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alabama clearly is loaded up on speed from hybrid weapons on offense. Prentice, Law, and Bond, what a phenomenal trio of names this is going to be, are all speed demons who can play defense. Henderson, of course, 5-star running back, who might well be a receiver too. And the Niblett kid, which is the...
Is that Niblett from Hoover's boy?
Yeah, tight end. No, it's not Niblett. It's Niblack, Niblack.
Oh, okay.
And Niblick is a jumbo athlete that's as much of a wide receiver as a tight end. Offensive and line and linebackers are two of the areas of this class they didn't pursue very heavy because they're kind of covered there already. And we'll get into some of Auburn's, and I know they signed one today. A JUCO transfer. Auburn's loaded up on these JUCOs. They have some guys.
Getting some big time JUCOs.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, he's a top player from JUCO. I just seen it. I forgot his name. So he's not on this list. I meant to write his name down.
And Tank Bigsby decided to come back.
He was at practice the next day.
They didn't have Bond's stats.
Okay. Damari Austin, running back, 5'10", out of Atlanta. Austin Asbury, big-time cornerback. This guy can play football. He's out of LSU.
Austin's good.
Camden Brown, another wide receiver that's playing over at Monroe. He's from Florida. Jay Fair, another wide receiver, small guy, 5'10". He's from Texas. Holden Griner, this is a quarterback. He's about 6'3", over 200 pounds. Played at some military academy over Georgia.
Was it Hargrave?
Yes.
Was it really? He might not have been. I think that's one of them.
Barry. So he's from Savannah, Georgia. Holden, Griner. Holden Griner.
Yeah.
Now, Marquise Gilbert, safety. He's a big-time football player. Auburn's got a lot of these guys, and they're good. They're good players. I mean, these guys from Florida, and let's see, the other guy here, Powell Gordon, a linebacker from Auburn. E.J. Harris, big offensive lineman, big guy, very fast, going to make a lot of waves. He's 6'5", 303, but he plays like 5'10", 180. I'm telling you, this Harris kid's going to make some noise. Omar Kelly, big-time wide receiver. He's from Trussville. And Alex McPherson.
That's the kicker from Fort Payne.
Fort Payne, Alabama.
First team All-State, by the way.
And then the Ducker kid, tight end, he's from Nebraska. The Keontae Scott, another cornerback. His kid's from California. Circle his name. I'm going to write his name down. Yep, Keontae Scott. Uh-oh.
You cramp.
Oh, Keontae Scott, and he's a cornerback, 6 foot tall. Now, check this out. You got a defensive lineman, 6'4", 305 from Monroe. I don't know much about him. Caleb Wooden, don't know much about him either. I'll tell you if I did. Now, the Robert Woodyard Jr., a linebacker, he's from Mobile, Alabama. I think he played down there where McCarron and some of them played at.
St. Paul.
I think so. Either there or where Mosley. Where did CJ play at?
Theodore.
I think he was from around that area. So, now Georgia.
I think yes. C.J. Mosley, yes.
Malik Starks, athlete, coming to Georgia Bulldogs. He's from Jefferson, Georgia. Malik Williams,
It's from Georgia. You got to count on.
I know.
Pretty good.
He's signed. He's from Columbus. You got a guy from Brenton, Florida, a cornerback, and you got Gunnar Stockton, which is from
Raven County.
Yes, quarterback, Tiger, Georgia. Tiger, Georgia. I never heard of Tiger.
Tiger, Georgia. Is that, how do you spell it?
Tiger. Tiger.
That's where Stockton's from?
That's what it says.
Yeah, I know it's Raven County High School is where he played. But he threw for about 4,000 yards in 13 ball games.
Must be Tiger County.
I don't know.
Robinson is a running back you'd be looking for. He's from Mississippi. Oscar Delp, a tight end. Bear Alexander, defensive tackle. Julian Humphrey, a corner. Jalen Walker from North Carolina, another linebacker, another receiver. That Maurice kid, the Denylon, Denylon, Morissette. Morissette. I liked him. Now, he played over at he's from Kennesaw, and he was in one of the semi games I watched I caught back on FHS somewhere. He's a receiver.
They're getting those type of players from the state. They don't even have to go out of state.
No, okay. There's 5 more, 6, 7, 8 more guys from Georgia. Darius Smith, Baxley, Georgia, defensive end. Cornerback, that Marquise, that Kilbrew kid, the cornerback. C.J. Washington, there's another linebacker. That kid can play. We've seen him play.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He's a 4-star. I think he's a 5. Trey West from Tifton, Georgia, a defensive tackle. And Jordan James, a running back. Look out for him. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He come across something on a 24/7 I had when I was looking at one kid. He come up on a, when you're going through and I show videos from somebody else, I come across his video somehow. He's really good. C.J. Smith, wide receiver from Florida. Ja'Cory Thomas, athlete. Aloha Ba, B-A-H. That's his last name. He's
Aloha Ba.
He's from Florida. Dylan Bell, Houston, Texas, athlete. That kid can play. He's a punt return, wide receiver, corner. Not a real big guy, but he can get all over the field. He's only 3-star, but I like him. Dylan Bell, going to Georgia. Cole Spear from Calhoun, Georgia. He was an all-state
receiver.
Yes.
He's good.
He got all-state and all-Canyon region I've seen through Georgia Public TV.
Cole Spear.
He got all kind of awards. A lot of awards. Carrollton Madden from Ellenwood, Georgia, a linebacker, and Sean Washington from New Orleans, defensive tackle. And that'll kind of round up Alabama, Georgia, and that'll round up all their recruits. And that's Georgia. You see how big that list is, guys.
Oh, gosh. Well, if they're getting players from Georgia, they're going to be all right. I expect to see C.J. Washington starting at some point for Georgia. I don't know when, but I wouldn't be shocked, would you?
No. High school, what do we do? Do high school.
Oh, we're on to the bowl games.
Reclasses. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did high school.
I got to do this one. All right, we got to start another podcast. Welcome back, people from Spotify, Applecast. We kept running our mouse, and we got over an hour going. So, now, we just talked a little bit about some recruits. If you missed that part, you can go back on our page there on YouTube and listen also as you ride.
I know a lot about that.
The Georgia kids, they're going to be loaded again.
Yeah,
and I will share with you this. 1 A&M, 2 Bama, Georgia, 3 Ohio State, 4 Texas, 5.
Sarkeesian coming in there.
So let me just circle these here, how interesting this is. Check this out, Dean. Penn State, 6. Notre Dame, 7. North Carolina, 8.
North Carolina again.
Michigan, 9. Oklahoma, 10. Kentucky, 11. Mizzou, 12. Florida State wound up being 13 after they lost Travis Hunter.
Still 13.
Still
he
13.
bumped them up to the top 7.
Probably so. Tennessee, 14. Stanford, 15. Auburn, 16. They turned out a good class, man. Coach Harsin,
He's not that bad.
I think I'm so surprised by it because I didn't expect them to have a good class because they had nobody last year. Mm-hmm. They had nobody come in. They had very few transfers come in. They run Gus off. He's down at UCF. Right after that, you got Clemson. Then you got Indiana, LSU Tigers at 19, Arkansas 20, South Carolina 21, Michigan State, Mississippi State 23, Arizona, Ole Miss 25, Oklahoma State, Vandy. Now this is out of the top 25, so I just went through some teams we may know or one of the teams.
Vandy was what?
35.
Wow.
Cincinnati 37, Miami Hurricanes 49. And the Gus Bus rolled in at 41, the best recruiting class ever at UCF.
Really?
There you go, guys.
Wow.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. So now we've got through all this. We've been on right at an hour. I don't know why that podcast cut off because it only goes for, I don't
What
know.
time
Anyway,
is
it's just 7. Yeah, we've been on an hour. Bowl game stuff. We're going to talk about Bama versus Cincinnati.
You want me to?
Georgia, Michigan. Yeah, what else you got?
Oh, I was just going to, before we get into that, do you want me to tell about the bowl games? Well, let's just go over this right quick and see how we picked.
Let's see here.
If we got them.
Let's see if we got some bowl games over here.
I've got 8 scores right here.
Let me go in there with you. I can look at it with you.
All right.
Let's see. Where did I put that at, Dean? Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, Middle Tennessee beat Toledo 31-24.
Surprised?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
A little bit. Coastal Carolina beat Northern Illinois 47-41. Was not surprised. That was a great game. Great game.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Coastal Carolina did pull out the win.
UAB with a huge upset. That was supposed to have been the most lopsided bowl.
Yeah, Alabama Junior College, UAB, beats BYU. And
Number 12.
Didn't BYU blow one last year?
I don't know, but that was considered a big-time upset.
They beat BYU last year in a bowl game, was it? Who was it? Was it Coastal Carolina? Yeah, because they had that big-name quarterback, BYU. He's supposed to be great. Zach Wilson, something.
Zach Wilson played there. Yeah, he did. Played for the Jets. What I consider an upset, Western Kentucky beat App State 59-38. Of course, Zap.
He's good.
5,900 yards passing, Matt. Broke Joe Burrow's single-season record.
6,000 yards. 6,000.
In 13 ball games. 14.
6,000 yards passing.
Fresno beat UTEP 31-24. Utah State upsets Oregon State 24-13. Louisiana beat Marshall 36-21. They were 12-1 this year, man.
Guys, let me tell you.
13-1.
Right here. You take a look right here. The Raging Cajuns. I watched the game. I dozed in and out of consciousness.
Did you see that hit on that punt return?
I dozed out, in and out, and out of consciousness there. So that was a good game. So
that was a very good
congratulations.
game.
Even though they lost their coach, and he's now at Florida Gators, they still pulled out the win. Congratulations to them.
Let me see here, Matt. So we got 1, 2.
What about Liberty?
3 upset. Liberty beat Eastern Michigan 56-20.
That's
Tyron Dupree.
Beat down. Tyron Dupree, Cherokee County Warriors.
At least 3 upsets right there, Matt. I can name. Utah State is an upset over Oregon State. UAB beating BYU and Middle Tennessee. I'm not sure on the Western Kentucky. App State. App State's usually pretty good. So to go in there and beat them, score 60 on them, that's pretty good.
It is. Yeah, Liberty coach Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that he's still there. I was just sure that somebody would nab him up.
Like they scored 56.
As soon as I heard Cristobal had left and was coming down, I thought, first name, somebody texted me and said, well, who's going to get Oregon's job? I said, well, they better off told Cristobal. That's who I would. I'm Cristobal. Freeze, that's who I would have went after. I don't know why.
He likes it there.
He does. I'm sure his phone rang. What you want to bet?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure his phone has rang a few times. Florida come open, I'm sure his phone's ringing. And just to kind of not to rebate about things we done went over, I just like to say, Dean, I think we were all surprised right here. I mean, Arkansas, LSU, 20-19 in recruiting.
Yeah, very.
Okay, guys, so the SEC bias is real. All the coaches and everybody's in on it. The whole nation's in on it. Yeah, you've got it figured out. No, just the best players want to go play in the best conference, and this right here is proof. This is more proof.
Yeah.
Right here.
Or you could say it's proof because that's all they hear.
Bama, 2. Georgia,
look
3.
At A&M, 1.
1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 16, 19, 20, 21, 23, 25, 35.
I mean, Vandy, 35. Man, that's good. And they want to get rid of that guy? Well, let's see how he does with this bunch.
1, 2, and 3.
I don't think they're wanting to get rid of him,
so
but they wasn't happy with it.
If you're sick of SEC teams playing in the championships games, then you might as well find another sport to watch because this is not your sport.
Well, now, our friend, who will remain nameless, we love him to death, and he does some of this to get under our skin.
He's got no proof, though. It's just talk.
He says that it's going to hurt college football this bowl season if Georgia and Alabama meet in the championship. I'm like, well, there's a great solution to that, and that would be for Michigan and Cincinnati to beat them.
We could fix the problem real quick. Or you could just do what RG3 suggested. RG3 said it wasn't fair for Cincinnati to have to play Alabama first.
Mm-hmm.
But they just got to the playoffs. It's not fair for them to play them first. And what kind of comment is that?
Well, who are they supposed to play?
I don't. Somebody besides Alabama. Well, welcome to the big boy league. Well, all we've heard for years is the non-power 5 can't make it. Well, now you did, and then now you got people out there crying about. I don't think the coach. They're not crying.
Well, who are they supposed to play? I mean, somebody was complaining because Georgia and Alabama was ranked so high year. I'm like, well, who's better than them?
That's what we went through the
I
year.
mean, they may not be great. We've even said, has Alabama at times not looked mediocre?
We had trouble ranking them a lot of times because, and then we'd sit here before the show and go, well, who else is number one? Georgia? Well, we could put Alabama up there.
Oklahoma's not better than Alabama.
Until Bama could beat Georgia, we couldn't put them at 1. Who are we going to put at 1? Who's going to be 3, 4, 5? We just throwed Cincinnati in there just to be nice half the time.
For 1 year, I think they got it 100. I think they got it right this time. I think the top 4 is right.
I ain't got a problem with it at all. If they don't like it,
now some people said Michigan
go win the game.
No. I mean, Alabama beat number 1.
Go win it, man. If you don't like it, then go out there
I
and
ain't
try
heard
to
a lot
win
of complaining about it.
Go out there and win it. Win your.
Well, that's all you got to do. You got to beat them. I mean, that's just it. And it can be done. It's proved. It's been proven. It's done. It's been done. We had Ohio State and Oregon 1 year. We had. I don't know, the SEC has not been in it every year. Actually, they have the last few, but not every year. Alabama won it, then LSU, then Alabama. And before that, I'm getting where I can't even remember anymore.
Oh, before those days.
Well, I'm talking about in the last 5 or 6 years. Ohio State won it one year.
Clemson's
won it a couple of times.
Florida State.
But, I don't know. It's just it's like the ACC in basketball. They're the best conference right now. I mean, we're just going, and maybe one day they can be dethroned from that. But
college rankings. We got college rankings.
Yeah.
Bowl games and scores.
Oh,
we went through the scores. Bama.
Games.
Oh, I forgot. Alabama's playing, and Georgia and Michigan. Let's talk about Georgia and Michigan first. Haskins, their tailback.
He's got 1,300 yards.
Yeah, 1,285. Yeah, 1,300 on rushing.
But
I like his play.
Well, here's the thing now that scares me about them, being half a Georgia fan. Corum, his backup's got 940 yards.
I noticed that. I clicked on him first when I was going through the backs, and I was like, man, he's got close to us. That's not bad. And I was like, but that's not Haskins. You go over there and it's like, 1,285. Well, good grief. So they're good up front.
So you got 2 studs, and their line's obviously great if they got 2 backs that have rushed for 2,200 yards.
I agree.
And with their schedule, which was not easy, I don't think their schedule was easy. Quarterback does a lot of play action. He's thrown for 2,500 yards. Yes. How is Michigan defensively, though? I know that Ohio State had a bunch of yards against them, but Ohio State had a bunch of yards against everybody.
Well, we could say this: their leading defender, the guy, what was his name? Ojaboy.
You're talking about for
Michigan.
Oh, you're talking about Hutchinson?
No, not him. They got a. Everybody knows him. They got another guy.
Oh, they got their leading tackler, John Ross, with 95. Of course, they've got Hutchinson. Oh, they got one that's hard to pronounce.
Yeah. And anyway, well, this phone just went absolutely nuts. Anyway.
Is he a stud?
Yeah, he has like 80 tackles on the year.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, maybe they may have some kind of mojo on Georgia. That defensively, if they can stand up and just go up there and trade punches with Georgia, I don't know why. I don't know why it should be a big deal for them to keep it close. And that's all you really want to do. Is just keep it close, right?
Well, I think Georgia's got a good defense, but I'm telling you, I think Michigan's for real, Matt. I think this O-line's for real.
There he is.
Do you not think their O-line's for real? 2,200 yards between their 2 tailbacks.
David Ojabo. It's just a guy I picked. Yeah. He's one of their linebackers. Pay attention to him. He's number 55. He is a junior, but his size, he's like 6'4", 200-something pounds. I'm trying to look through the defense, and what I'm trying to do when I was studying this morning, I'm trying to figure out a way how they're going to stop Georgia.
Right. Well,
that's going to be the trick, ain't it?
I don't know. If they played tomorrow, I would like Michigan. But I don't. Who's going to be Georgia's quarterback, Bennett or Daniels? I mean, Daniels has 700 yards passing, but he's never lost as a starter. Never at Georgia. He's 7-0. Bennett has 2,300 yards, and you got White and Cook that have combined for 1,300. And obviously, you got the big threat in Bowers with 47 catches for 8.
Now, Bennett's got how many passing?
23.
23.
Actually, I don't think Bennett's better than McNamara.
McNamara, 2470, 64.6 completion percent average. He's got a 93-yard line. He's got 15 touchdowns. So let's say this. He's 308 for 2,470 yards. So what we're going to do here, we'll try to compare quarterbacks.
I think McNamara's better.
Okay, I agree. But could he be better than JT if he play? I don't think he's going to play JT. I think he's going to roll with Bennett. I think he's rolled with him all year. Kirby just seems like that kind of guy. I thought Saban was that way too until we played Georgia, and Tua went out there and shocked the world and broke Georgia fans' hearts again. So
well, let me ask you something.
Will he start? You think he'll go out there and start Bennett?
I don't know.
And then pull him if they don't do good?
A lot of pressure. He may try with him, see how he does. If he don't do good, Daniels is in.
I'll say if he starts him, if he don't play good, he jerks and puts Daniels in.
All right. Well, let's go running backs. Is Haskins and Corum better than White and Cook? I think so.
Well, like you said, 1288, 939. And even the Henning kid, which is one of the receivers, he runs the ball on these pitches. Mm-hmm. He's got yards too. I mean, they even got the Edwards kid, tailback. I mean, he's over 100.5. He's got 3 or 4 touchdowns himself.
Yeah, he threw a 75-yard touchdown pass against Iowa.
See, so
which White and Cook are good, but I got to give the edge to the running back.
Okay, so let's mark this off here.
I'm gonna give that to
all right,
Michigan
Georgia,
too.
Michigan. All right, we got so goes the quarterback, so goes running back play. Now, what about defensive line play?
I think Georgia's got a better D-line.
Okay, D-line, offensive line too.
No, I think Michigan's got a better O-line.
Now, and here's what we have to remember, guys. We're trying to figure this is one of the tougher games to pick in the bowls, and if you say it's not, then you're just lying.
I think Georgia's better on every facet of the defense, secondary, the linebackers, and the D-line. But I think Michigan is better O-line, backs, quarterback, but not receivers. I think Bowers gives Georgia the edge there.
What about Pickens?
And Pickens, yes.
and they got
Adonal Mitchell.
We got to get Pickens the ball.
Yeah, Pickens.
We got to get him the ball. He's got to get the ball more.
So I got O-line, quarterback. This is just me, running back, going for Michigan. And for Georgia, I got DL, LB, DB, and receivers. So that would give Georgia the edge, 4-3. Wow. What's the spread in this? About 3? But since Georgia's got great linebackers and Haskins and Corum are great running backs, you gotta give the edge to Georgia in this game.
I'm sure there is.
Do you not got to give the edge to Georgia a little bit if Bennett don't have turnovers or Daniels?
Well, and I'll say this too. I know Georgia fans still a little rattled about losing to Bama again for the 342nd time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it's the SEC and the conference and the schedule. But, we found out, during the time there that they're not really their schedule they play. Florida wasn't great.
They tried to have a tough schedule. They really did. And on paper, it looked like it was going to be. It ended up not being as tough.
Georgia, they're SEC school. I kind of lean towards them like you. They weigh, 4 out of the 3. But that Florida game, and I did go back today to have some more reference and watched Alabama and Florida. Alabama handled Florida. When you go back and watch it again, it got away from them there after halftime because Florida come out and went down the field and scored real quick. Mm-hmm. And Bama had to come back and kind of fight with them. What people will not admit, only real football fans will admit this, Alabama gets everybody's best shot. Because last time I checked, I don't remember anybody storming the field when they beat Auburn or Texas A&M. Sorry, no offense. But, I mean, when South Carolina beats Georgia, do they storm the field? I can't remember any time. And I'm making that point to this, that Alabama's it's just what it is. So them losing to Alabama, and I'm laying it up for a nice layup here, that's made them better. Kirby's not an idiot. He's a great coach, and they recognize what they need to do. And I think he turns this thing around, and they're going to go in here, and the not the Big Ten, I call it the little weak 10. I just don't like them. You know how I am about Ohio State and them. I'm just not a fan at all. After all the stuff they pulled last year and year before, and they squeaked their way in and lied about you had to have so many wins. I just
I've got Georgia winning 30-24.
I couldn't go wrong. I'd assume
and I'll stick with that.
Vegas probably have them at 3.5. I bet.
I heard it was 7, but you know that's going to go down.
It will as it gets closer to the game.
So out of the 7 positions, the special teams, I have no idea. But out of the 7 positions, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Running back, quarterback, I've got Georgia 4-3.
So we're trying to compare positions here. This is one of the hardest ones to pick now. We're going to lean with Georgia. I'm leaning with them because I like their SEC play. I know they ain't played a great schedule.
Well, they played Kentucky and Arkansas. Auburn nearly beat Alabama. Auburn had Mississippi State beat. They were up 5 touchdowns. I mean, 4 touchdowns? 28-3.
It's still an SEC schedule. I like it. I just don't think the big little 10 up there. I just don't think they're super adequate. So I'm going with I'll roll with Georgia to move on to Alabama and Cincinnati. Then Cincinnati's last game, I'll pick Georgia. They win 35-20 over Houston, and we would have to look into some of their stats here. As in Houston, now tell us about your quarterback play, Ritter.
He's got 3,600 yards of offense this year, but highlight of their offense is probably Jerome Ford, who used to play for Alabama, 1,238 yards.
I also like him and Ritter, like you just mentioned. He's the second leading rusher on the team, along with Montgomery, with 6.9 on average. The guy's got 3 touchdowns. Now, Ford has almost 20 touchdowns with 200 attempts. Dude, this quarterback, Ritter, guys, be careful. I'm just going to tell you right now, we all know the elephant in the room, no pun intended, the elephant in the room is a running quarterback always bothers Alabama.
Yeah, and he can run it. He's got 35. I think they can play with Alabama a little bit. I'm going to rate positions again. Obviously, Young's got Ritter at quarterback. Running back, I think Ford, they got a little more depth than Alabama. So I like Cincinnati's running back duo better. Wide receivers, I mean, I don't think that's a no-brainer. But even with Mechie being out, I still like Williams and Earl and that bunch.
Well, you got Pierce and Scott and Tucker. They're all good players. I mean, even the young junior guy comes in. I think his daddy was a big-time football player in the NFL. They're averaging between 800, 400. Most of their other receivers on the day there. I would with Mechie being out, I agree. Yeah. I kind of like Bama.
I got Alabama 4-3 on this, too. I got them better quarterback, better wideouts, better linebacker, better DL. I hear their secondary is excellent. And Job's out. Josh Jobe. And I think our safeties are great. I think Helms and Battle are fantastic. But I think that Cincinnati may be better in the secondary. But you're having to defend Bryce Young. He's out of the trophy winner. I think their O-line and running back's better, but not much.
Bama O-line better?
No, I think Cincinnati's O-line.
Oh, okay. That's big there. That ain't much to say because they ain't been real good.
No.
But we like Bama's quarterback, receiver, linebacker, defensive line. Yeah. Offensive line, Cincinnati. I'm going to go, for me, I'm going to pick Bama's offensive line. I'll just tell you why.
If they played how they did against Georgia.
Because here's the reason why. I don't see their defense, because we noticed we didn't have over here for Cincinnati, one of the likes and pluses for them, you had offensive line, not defensive line.
Right.
I don't see them making a push up there and line up front. I think Bryce Young has all day to clip his toenails and do his taxes.
Yeah.
And I feel like McClain and them's going to have a good day
I don't think.
running the ball.
I do think that Ford, No, and I say that I like their running backs better. That's just because they got more depth. Robinson's tough. And I do think they got the better secondary overall. I hope they have a first-team All-American corner. But
DeBanks and Beavers and Cook, Pace.
Yeah, Pace, 86 tackles, 4 picks. But I like Toa and Christian Harris, and I like that bunch. Will Anderson, obviously, 91 tackles, 31 behind the line.
I really like him. He's you can just make a check mark right there, a double check. That linebacker play, defensive end play, Anderson. He's going to eat these guys alive, and it's really going to cause a lot of trouble for that run game affording them. And
it will. Yes.
And we all know this, and we'll cut this up and get out of here. Dean, where's football won and lost?
In the trenches. Yeah.
Bama's just better. They're so deep up front, man. They roll these guys in and out up there so well. For you guys like Pierce trying to catch the ball, and far as you,
Pierce is their best receiver. 50 catches.
DeBlanco, 106 tackles. I'm telling you, I just like our chances. Our running backs maybe are not. They're not as good maybe because we're not as deep. But for them to come out there and to put a shoulder on a linebacker blitzing, I think we adjust to that.
Yeah, just because it's 4-3, that I've got 4-3 doesn't mean their DBs. I got their DBs ranked higher than Alabama's, but they're going against Young, who won the Heisman. I got their O-line better, but look at Will Anderson's the first-team All-American, so it offsets each other. Does that make sense? I got Alabama 35-17, man.
Okay, 35.
And I won't stick with that because I want to see where it goes.
All right.
We'll see how close I can. I just don't. And now, hey, first half, it may be 21-14 at halftime. I think Alabama will adjust defense, and they won't do much. And I think Cincinnati will adjust, and maybe they're very good on defense, right? But not enough to.
Well, that corner and those guys, they're good. I mean, they're there for a reason, and we're trying to give them little props and make them feel like they've completed something through the year. But the Crimson Tide, Young throwing for over 4,000 yards, and of course Robinson Jr. he's won over 1,000.
Right. Williams 1,500.
I like Bama.
Yeah, Alabama special teams better with Reichard.
I'm kind of curious though. If Bama is in one of those moods to where they're going to kind of feel sorry for them and just play it close, and it'll be a
they don't do that
28-14 game, because once they get out in front, you can tell they're just way better, and they're just not going to try to throttle them.
Right.
Or they're just sick of hearing about this non-power 5 team never get a shot. What are you talking about, Dan? I should be getting the chance to play for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Well, we're going to find out.
This is the first one.
Is it going to be I'm going to write down 45-10. If they come in there fired up like that, you know what I mean? Like they're like, we're sick of hearing about this. I'm just tired of hearing about non-Power 5 teams getting a shot. We're going to shut this door. We're tired of hearing about it. We're going to slam it. Or it'll be a score like yours. They may score a little more because they could be a proficient offense.
I'm not trying my best not to be a homer. I know this looks bad. But just looking at it on paper, Georgia looks a little bit better than Michigan. Not a lot. But Alabama just looks better than Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How do they not? Can somebody please? Alabama has the 6th in the country in strength of schedule. Cincinnati's got 78th.
There's no way you could – any kind of propaganda or whatever kind of medicine you're taking or something – who could pick Cincinnati to win this game? I don't know. Tell me.
Well, I mean, if you do, you're just going to get lucky, and Alabama's going to have a bunch of turnovers.
I told you. I picked it. I told you.
Well, I know people that's picked it, and it's not a terrible pick. If you're trying to win something, hey, I'm going to go. Nobody else. You're trying to win a parlay. Nobody else is going to pick Cincinnati. So if you that one guy that pick it, you just gained a game on it.
Big Ten's a real deal. I told you, Dean.
But I just don't see it. And now Michigan could beat Georgia. I think a lot of that depends on what Bennett, who's going to be their quarterback, how are they going to play. That's an even match, though. That should be a good game.
I like it. I'm going.
But I do not think Alabama, and I think if Alabama beats Cincinnati, there's a good chance they may not win a national championship against either one of them. That'll be a great game, but I just don't think Cincinnati's going to be the one to take them down.
I don't either.
It'll be one of them other two.
If they get Georgia again, which we kind of think so,
Which I think it'll be very hard.
It's hard to beat a team twice, and if anybody he can beat him twice, it's Kirby. Kirby knows what he's doing, and he's going to have a game plan ready again because they've played a couple of times now. Mm-hmm. And it's been more recent. And after you play this game, you're going to have 9 days to play.
I would say as a realist and somebody with using common sense, you'd probably have to maybe give Georgia a slight edge, wouldn't you, if they were to meet again?
I would. But
that game was closer than the score, 41-24.
They beat them so bad. I mean, Bama jumped out on them quick, and I think the score could have been worse. I think it could have been worse.
They just had so much trouble with Young, and you got to think they're working on that every day to correct that.
You can't fix sloppy, lazy. And Big 99, old Jordan, Big Sloppy just stood on the sidelines with his hands on his hips. I was extremely disappointed. I was hoping for a good game from him. I was hoping he'd come out there and get in Bryce Young's grill and make the case and show everybody why he should have been considered for a Heisman. I didn't even see him in the second half at about 10 plays. And if I'm wrong, somebody can please go back and show me some clips, and I'll admit I'm wrong. I don't think he's played 10 snaps in the second half.
Well, I don't like the fact that Mechie's out. I do not like that.
You can't fix that. Sometimes just sloppy laziness, and he just, I'm going pro. Who cares?
Yeah, and whoever plays Alabama, somebody's going to have to step up, and they probably will. But Mechie, sometimes you can't step up.
That's going to hurt them more than people think. They're thinking, well, we got Brooks is going to fill in, and JoJo Earl may get back in there and play.
Yeah, but can they make up 7 catches and 97 yards a game?
We're going to find out. We will find out. All right, guys, let's cut it loose, and we'll get out of here. We thank everybody for your time, and it's been a great show. We appreciate everybody for hanging in there with us and tuning in for the day. Guys, Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas and a real Happy New Year to everybody. We won't be back till next year, Dean, and we got some more games coming up this week.
2 years. This was our 2-year.
Yes, Wednesday. We started doing a bowl pick'em over there in the church. Side room over there.
No,
we just know
Sunday school class.
And it's kind of took off from there, and look what we're doing now. We're still doing the same thing. We're still the same two good guys. We just got a little more stuff, and we got a little more fancier, and a few more people hear about us. So instead of 7-8 people watching, sometimes we'll have 400 or 500 watching. And that's great. And God has been good to us with that, and we have to give him all the glory and praise. And most of all this season, guys, and doing your Bible study this morning, I was like to finish by saying, sometimes holiday seasons are hard, Dean, because you miss loved ones, but you got to know people that you love in your hearts in Christ, and he loves you, and it's going to be a celebration of his birth. It's not about the trees and the gifts. Tell your kids about Jesus and him being born to give you a chance at salvation. So even though in the lonely, timely moments that we miss people in these holiday seasons, God is still alive, and he's still sitting on the throne, and that's all that really matters.
Right. Amen.
So y'all have a Happy New Year. It's going to be great. Dean, he will be out of town. I may be on during the week one day during some bowl games and do a little locker room, a little 15, 20-minute spot on here.
Out of town for 4 days. 4 or 5.
We'll be back January 2nd to cover these January 1st games. And we'll talk about them and of course, the December games, Alabama and Cincinnati. We'll see how that turned out.
We already got our scores picked.
We will be back then. So
the truth is that nobody knows what's going to happen in these games. You can predict all day, but nobody knows. Michigan may come out and drill Georgia. Georgia may come out and drill Michigan. But I will say I do not think Cincinnati will come out and drill Alabama.
They may, if Bama fumbles the ball late and does something dumb and they score and get onside kick a field goal and win it,
We'll give them credit. I hope they play well. I do.
I'll eat that plastic football.
Because if they don't, then nobody will ever get a...
It's plastic football right here if Cincinnati beats Alabama.
You'll eat it. We at least put it in some ramen noodles now. He ain't going to eat it whole.
I'll eat that plastic football if Cincinnati beats Alabama by more than 2 points.
I had somebody tell me they beat them by 5 touchdowns. And I said,
they're kidding. They're insane. They're just playing because there's nobody really believes that.
And my quote was, I said, they could go out there without their pads on and they wouldn't beat them 5 touchdowns. He has a lot of fun with that.
But in his mind, he knows, but he's just raising you because he knows it gets
5
you high.
touchdowns?
He's insane, man. Alabama ain't never lost by 5 touchdowns to anybody.
Who's beating? Ain't nobody beating. I said, I don't think anybody can beat them 5 touchdowns.
No.
Boy, what if they did?
The Jacksonville
we could never hear the end of that.
That ain't gonna happen. The play again. Football is won a game up front in the trenches. Mm-hmm. That's where it's at. So, all right, Dean.
All right.
Y'all have a Merry New Year and a Merry Christmas, and enjoy the rest of the week, guys. It's gonna be some kind of funky weather. It's gonna be a little cool, and carry your umbrella with you, and
it's gonna be bad.
And always carry God with you, and keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God as always. We love you and we thank you for all that we do. And Jesus be with you. And we'll catch y'all next year. Dean, another year, 2022 is coming. Man, get on out of here, 21. We done with it.
Yeah, one bad year.
Let's lean with it, rock with it, guys. We'll see y'all. All right, peace.